What's up, fam? I want to give you my thoughts about Applied Materials. They're about to release earnings tomorrow after close, and I think there's a trade to be made over there. Four big reasons. One, the chip trade is coming back to life. SOXX ETF will show you that there's a steady increase and is definitely in buy zone. There's some really good economic data that has surfaced over the last couple of weeks. There's some strong competitor clues. Most of all, and my favorite, it's undervalued. So let's check it out. So, what does Applied Materials even do? This is the entire value chain in the semiconductor space. And so, starting from the top, the foundry is something that's making the semiconductor chip to supply to integrated device manufacturers, perhaps, and definitely the fabless chip companies. The integrated device manufacturers are making the chips themselves, and therefore they have factories to make the chips. The fabless chip companies are coming up with the design, and then the wafer fab equipment space are making the equipment that the foundries use to then make the chips. So Applied Materials is in that space, and we have some competitor clues in that ASML and Lam Research have released earnings. So their second quarter earnings have already come out. Now, if we go back in time, it's important to look at what happened with AMAT, the subject of the matter. Um, Last quarter, they released earnings. They had really strong revenue growth on a quarter-on-quarter and a year-over-year basis, and that propelled the stock higher. There was a little bit of a pullback, and then it kept going higher after that. Uh, then there were a lot of macroeconomic reasons and external reasons in the Japanese yen and the Nikkei that then caused many of the stocks to fall down. Recently, SOXX ETF has shown that the recovery has started, is well on course. It's in really good buy zone on all of these semi stocks, and Applied Materials is no stranger to that particular rule. And so therefore that's the context around Applied Materials. Now LRCX, which is in my mind the closest competitor, released earnings for the second quarter, and the stock dropped because of the fact of because there's a variety of reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that their revenue isn't growing. And then if we look at the business units within, so in the foundry space, LRCX versus AMAT, their the foundry revenue in LRCX is pretty is not growing as much as it probably should. AMAT is still really holding on to their share of foundry revenue versus LRCX. I'm probably expecting flat revenues on a quarter over quarter basis for AMAT as well. On the memory revenue, though, and that's where AMAT really excelled at in the last quarter. Their memory revenue went from $1.9 billion to $2.4 billion. In those 2 quarters, LRCX went from $1.8 billion to $1.6 billion, and now in the second quarter is at $1.39 billion, almost $1.4 billion. ASML, which is the third company in this space which competes on memory, dropped a lot on in that particular segment or business unit in the first quarter of 2024 and then took off. That is the only headwind to me from a competitor performance standpoint. But I think there's definitely tailwinds in the fact that AMAT is a significantly large player in the memory space, second behind ASML. LRCX has definitely dropped by quite a lot. And yeah, we all already know about the headwind that we spoke of. In terms of the ratios and in terms of why I think, and the last reason why I think it's in a good buy zone or in a good buying point, is that it's relatively cheap compared to ASML, for P ratio of 26 versus AMAT of 20.85. And I think LRCX is moderately priced at 18. It's cheapest. Probably is also still undervalued. But I think AMAT, given the fact that it's the fastest growing, so if you look at the PEG ratio, it's not under one, but it's definitely lower than any of their competitors. It's placed for a rally, and I think therefore there's a bull trade to be made over there. Hope you found this video useful. If you like this content, definitely give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the upcoming videos. Catch y'all later.